Yep.
Lesson plan for today, timing, nutrient timing. This is the sports nutrition walkthrough of when you're supposed to eat what, so that way you know what to do. So with the homework stuff, if you work through your proteins, carbs, and fats, most people usually figure out how little they eat or how much junk they eat. And then for you all, now that you know how to break down the actual graph as to how much protein you should eat, how much carbs you should eat, you should have an idea if you are way out of range or not. And so it should have been an eye-opener. Now, for you to develop your own program for nutrition, you should be able to do this with that information, correct? You should be able to figure that out. It shouldn't be that hard. If you're saying, hey, I'm supposed to eat 1 point whatever grams of protein, 1 point whatever grams of carbs, fill in my fats, make sure I'm eating enough to be full, you should have an idea as to what you're doing. So just know that your timing now behind this stuff is super important. So number one, let's cover over protein, because obviously, right, so back to the tree model, this is the base of the tree. This is where we got to make sure we're fueling it to make sure our muscles stay fed when we recover. So protein, when should we focus on protein as a nutrient?
Like when we, after a workout.
After working out.
Right? Somebody said it.
All day.
Yeah, I said
I
that.
did say that.
All the time, no questions asked. That is 100% must have. Every meal potentially possible, you're looking to add value with protein. Do not leave protein off the table ever. If you're noticing that your protein is low, that means your muscle balance, your muscle recovery, all those things is going to be low. You're not going to perform the way you want to. That is a major concern. Okay? So protein is an absolute priority at every single meal. Now, I'm going to elaborate a little bit more onto the protein factors because I really harped on a few protein sources as a major priority, which were what?
Chicken, fish.
Chicken, fish, and eggs. Outstanding, right? So I'm going to put chicken, fish, and eggs. Okay? So those three by themselves are at the highest priority list for you to consume every day. Now, as you check to see what you're eating, there's probably times where you eat stuff and you're like, oh man, I've gone almost the whole day and I've still not had any chicken, any fish, or any eggs. As a youth athlete, that happens more often than not. That's something that we got to get away from. We really need to focus on consuming more of those items all the time. No need to harp on anything else pertaining to it, but protein is all of the time. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. Carl, oh, yes, sir.
I do have a serious question. So say
Why are you laughing already?
Because it's kind of funny.
All right, well, go ahead.
So hypothetically, say an athlete is vegan, and he doesn't eat any of that crap.
What athlete's vegan?
I'm just saying.
That's what I told him.
I'm just saying. What if there
I'm-
was? Would they be able to perform to the same?
Okay,
extent?
great question. So if you were a vegan, could you perform to the same extent? The answer is
No.
close. So statistically, there's things in meat that we get that you're not going to get from anywhere else. Also, there's a major difference between a vegan and a vegetarian. There is a difference between the two.
Can't a vegan eat?
No, vegan doesn't eat milk, eggs.
Yes. A vegan is going to be, just always remember like this, vegans are more strict and will remove any sort or any site or sourcing of any hard, pretty much meat product. It's all gone. All right? That's pretty much how that works. A vegetarian will usually have egg whites, fish sometimes, things like that. They'll mix those things in occasionally, but it's very minimal. But think about how many amino acids they're going to be missing. Right? It's not going to work the same, which is a really good question. It wasn't even funny.
It's
a good question.
Most vegans are gay, so they don't play sports.
On the video.
All right, moving on to carbs. All right, so carbohydrates. When is it most important for us to consume carbohydrates as baseball players?
Breakfast.
Breakfast is one.
Before a workout.
Okay, ready? So I'm going to go, pre and then post workout. All right, So breakfast and then pre and post workout are going to be the most sensitive times for you to have carbohydrates. Okay? The most sensitive. We know from the lesson plan before when we were talking about sustaining good, strong energy within the muscle for what we do, we need to make sure we have carbs pre, post exercise, pre, post scrimmages, games, pre, post practices, all that. If you miss out on carbs in those opportunities, you will miss out on a lot of results. All right? So that's a big one. That is required for you to see the results you're looking for. There's an old bodybuilding secret we used to use. We called it back carb loading. Okay? Back carb loading was the old school bodybuilding way to get muscle to influence a more productive behavior to grow. Okay? That's when the muscle is most sensitive to utilize carbs inside the body. Now, bodybuilders would use that, so I'm going to give you the separate side to that. We're not trying to be bodybuilders here. We're trying to be solid baseball players and get the most results, be the healthiest. We need to use that theory, though, just a little bit so that way we can influence the right behavior inside the muscle to grow. We need it to recover. We need it to have energy. So that means we got to have carbs, specifically post-exercise and post-games, post-practice, and all that. But in the morning, why is carbs so important?
It's because they get the start, it's when your metabolism gets kick-started.
The metabolism. Where's metabolism?
How fast your body processes.
Where is it located inside the body?
Your small intestines.
It's the muscles. It's the muscles. Not that guess. Look, it's the muscles. You cannot increase metabolism by taking a pill. You can't do it by skipping meals. You can't do it by you can only increase metabolism by stimulating muscle and then getting it to recover at a high rate. That's how metabolism increases. That's why when a lot of people start working out, they start getting more hungry. That is your body's response and your brain's response to say, hey, this body needs to have something. The liver's calling for more nutrients. The muscles are calling for more energy. It's got to eat. We got to feed it. So when you're hungry and you're working out a lot and you're doing the right thing on the ball field, that's the response. So it's super, super, super important we take care of that. Don't need to harp too much more on the carb thing. It's just one of those things we got to understand when to have it and when it's most important. The other part about the morning, real quick, the other part about the morning is that in the morning, muscle is located where?
All over.
Everywhere. There's muscle. Look, your fingers got muscles. Okay? They're everywhere. Right? So when somebody does not have any carbs in the morning, and if you didn't have much at the end of the day, and you were practicing and or working out, and then you went to go do whatever, you may notice a little bit of brain fog. You may notice that your heart rate may go up or down, spike real fast, or tank really fast. Sometimes you're just like, man, something wrong with me today. I just ain't got it. You may see it change academically. It can shift everything inside of you. And so if you struggle with those things, there's a good chance that usually carbohydrates are low somewhere. Something's not getting stimulated from that. Last one, fats. When do you think we do this?
All the time.
Why is it so important to have healthy fats all the time? It's long endurance energy, right? We know that. We talked about that before. But why else would it be super important? Huh? Brain, right? Your brain and nervous system function has to have healthy fats. We talked about myelin, right? The myelin sheathing, how fast we can create a response from your brain to fire to your muscles. This is where we get the advantage once again, right? These are the secrets. These are the answers that everybody looks for. And this is why, remember when Coach Taz was like, hey, when Coach Hickey starts talking about nutrition, tune all the way in. Tune in. You will not get this from anyone else. I promise you that. When you take this information and you plug it in, I promise you your results are going to go nuts. You're going to see everything you've ever wanted to see happen inside your body, and it's going to produce on that field, and everyone's going to think that you're cheating, you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, all that. I can change someone's physique like this. I could change it within a few weeks. Hi, would you agree? Rosie, would you agree? I think there's a few guys in here that will agree. I can teach you exactly every in and out, how to eat, what to eat, and get you there. I'm giving everybody in this program the baseline secrets. Now there's some further depth behind it, but for the most part, this right here, your nutrient timing, is everything. So when you're just like, man, I woke up late and I skipped breakfast, I'm on my way out the door, I didn't eat. That is the most irresponsible behavior I've ever heard. How do you not have something to grab? You could have grabbed a handful of saltine crackers and a glass of chocolate milk, and now you've got healthy protein, fats, and carbohydrates, and you didn't have to make a single thing. That's battle food stuff, right? But you can do it. You can do it. There's no excuse for it. Go.
Saltine crackers good for you.
What's that?
Are saltine crackers good for you?
Saltine crackers are totally good for you. They're fine. So when you're at school, right, and you're thinking about, your lunch. Turn that off. If you're at school and you're having your lunch and you're like, well, I don't even know what to have for lunch. How many of you like chicken salad? Some of you? Chicken salad is like an easy go. Chicken salad, egg salad, tuna salad. There's like a million different versions of these things that you can do. And if you do that with some saltine crackers, like today for lunch for me, that's what I was eating, right? He was in the gym. I saw Hyde in the gym. Look, I'm sitting there in the gym in my break room and I'm eating a giant, there's 50 grams of protein in the amount of tuna that I have there.
No,
50
you walked in with them cheese popcorn things up. You was cheating.
Yeah, but that was different. it's not the protein
No.
I'm talking about here. Now, I had some white cheddar popcorn, which that's a good thing. You gotta have carbs. I gotta have them. But still, I had a whole container of tuna that I had, and I was loading up with saltine crackers. This is muscle fuel. It's the way you perform. This is the way you get to feel better. This is the way you get the results. So that's what timing is all about. Timing is about producing an environment for your muscles to grow and recover all the time. And not only just your muscles, but your brain, that thing has got to have the fuel too, so that way it can react correctly. Any questions pertaining to timing? Should be pretty good. Pretty solid. All right, good.